You won't get very far in InDesign just by staring at the first page of a document. No, you need to learn how to navigate the high seas, zooming, panning around, jumping from page to page. So let's start with moving around the page and from one page to the next. The basic way to do that is to use the scroll bars. You can scroll down, and you can see if I scroll down even further, there's pages 2 and 3 on the next pasteboard down. That's the way multiple pages work in InDesign. You have one pasteboard after another, each one has its own spread. I can scroll back up, I can scroll to the left and right and so on. But you know, that is like the slowest possible way to scroll around your document. Those scroll bars, I just never use them. Instead, I use a tool out here in the tool panel called the grabber hand tool or the hand tool. And the hand tool lets me move around very interactively. But I don't choose the tool from the tool panel. Instead, I use a keyboard shortcut because I really want to be efficient. And the keyboard shortcut is Option Spacebar or Alt Spacebar on Windows. And that gives me the hand tool temporarily, so just as long as I need it. So what you do is you hold on Option Spacebar or Alt Spacebar and then click and drag. As you click and drag, you move the page around. You scroll, you pan, whatever you want to call it. So I'm sitting there and I'm scrolling around and it's very efficient. Now I could scroll or pan with the grabber hand temporarily all the way down to the next spread, and then when I'm done, I just let go of the modifier keys and I'm back to whatever tool I had before. But the problem with doing this is that it's very slow to move from one page to the next. So I love the grabber hand, but I'm not typically going to be using it for moving from one page to the next. It would just take too long. Instead, I'm going to use the Pages panel. So let's head up to the Pages panel. I can find that in the upper right corner here, docked on the side here. I'll click on the Pages panel button and out pops the Pages panel, and I can see all of the pages within my document. There they are, one on top of the other. Page 1, 2, and 3, and so on. Now, I'm going to give you a little secret trick here because, like I said, I like being efficient. So here's a little advanced trick for you. I'm going to reconfigure the Pages panel. I'll show you how to reconfigure this so that you can be more efficient with the Pages panel. Right now, pages 1, 2, 3, and that's pretty much all that fits inside this panel. Now, I could make the Pages panel bigger, but screen real estate is always at a premium. It's always best to use the space that you have as best you can. So to do that in the Pages panel, I'm going to go to the Pages panel menu. There's this little flyout thing off on the side here in the upper right corner. I'm going to click on that, and at the very bottom of this flyout menu, I'm going to choose Panel Options. And inside the Panel Options dialog box, I'm going to turn off Show Vertically. This is kind of an advanced trick, but this will really help you be more efficient with the Pages panel. Show Vertically off, click OK, and you can see that suddenly I see a bunch more pages here. I don't see them all lined up one on top of the other like Quark Express always did it, but I do see them in a way which is more efficient use of the space, right next to each other. So here's the first spread, here's the second spread, pages 2 and 3, and so on. That's the way I like using the Pages panel because I like being efficient, but you can do it any way you want. Now, back to what we're supposed to be talking about, which is navigating around our document. So here we are. I want to jump to page 5, let's say. How do I do it? Well, just double-click on the page. I'll double-click on page 5, and it jumps me right to page 5. If I want to jump to a spread, let's say the 2-3 spread, I double-click on the numbers instead. Double-click on that, and it takes me right to the spread, so I can see both pages 2 and 3 at the same time. So double-clicking the Pages panel is great. It can be efficient, but not efficient enough. If you're really trying to move quickly through InDesign, you want to use the keyboard shortcuts for moving from one page to the next. And you can find all of those in the Layout menu. Let's jump up here to the Layout menu, and you can see in this section here, you can jump right to the first page, either by choosing it from the menu or by using this cryptic keyboard shortcut. This is Shift Command Page Up. Of course, on Windows, it would be Shift Control Page Up. That's what that arrow with the two little lines in it means, Page Up. So that's how you would jump to the first page, Shift Command Page Up. Or you could jump to the last page with Shift Command Page Down, or the previous or the next page with Shift Page Up or Page Down, or the next spread. This is the one I use almost all the time, Option Page Up and Option Page Down. Let's try it. Option Page Down, there we go. It goes to the next spread. Option Page Down again, goes to the next spread. Very, very handy. Let's go back to the Layout menu just to look at a couple other things in here. You can say go to a particular page with Command or Control J. That way, if you wanted to go right to page 2, you would select that, or I would just use the keyboard shortcut. Press 2, hit Enter or Return, and it takes you right to page 2. By the way, if I just start looking at this document and I don't know that I went to page 2, how does InDesign tell me that I'm on page 2? Well, there's two things that you need to pay attention to. One is in the Pages panel, you'll see that page 2 is highlighted very slightly. It's kind of a little bit more blue. That's pretty subtle, but that's what's going on there. The spread is highlighted in black and the page is highlighted in blue. The other way that you can tell what page you're on, and this is probably more helpful, is in the lower left corner, it says page 2. Now that is not just an indicator of what page I'm on, it's also an editable field. I could come in here and select that 2 and change it to, let's say, 7, hit enter, and it'll take me to page 7. So that is yet another way to move among the different pages. If you look really closely, there's little buttons that take you to the first spread or the last spread or the next page and so on down there in the lower left corner as well. So that is yet another way to navigate from page to page within your InDesign document. Now there's one more feature I want to point out from the layout menu, and that is go back and go forward, because most InDesign users don't understand what these things mean. This is just like your web browser. When you're surfing the web in Safari or Internet Explorer or whatever, you can use go back and go forward. So if you're on a particular page and you want to go back to where you were before, you choose go back, and it takes you to whatever page you were last on. Now, once you've gone back, you can move forward again. There we go. Now that's highlighted. Go forward, and it takes you back. So it's just like surfing in a web browser, moving from one page to the next around your document. That's very handy when you are working with really long documents especially. You know, it's worth it to go over each of these navigation features a number of times and really get them down, because these are the features that you're going to be using 100 or even 1,000 times each day.